There will be two types of people in 2026, those who prepared their money and those who wish they did. Which one do you want to be? Today I'm going to break down a simple, international-friendly checklist of things that you need to do with your money before 2026 gets here. Can you believe 2026 is so close? And here's the thing, your money is already being positioned for it, whether you like it or not. Hey everyone, it's Alice here. Alice the accountant. I'm a chartered accountant and I help people build wealth and level up their finances. Let's get straight into it with number one, max it out or lose it. These are accounts like your workplace pension limit, Roth IRA if you're in the US, and ISA in the UK limits. So for example, in the UK, you have £20,000 that you can invest tax-free. So all the gains on that £20,000 are completely tax-free. I think in the US it's about $7,000 or $8,000, depending on the tax year. I know in the UK it's the end of March. But let's do a little calculation. Let's make sure that we can max it out as much as possible to get the most of that tax benefit, because this tax benefit doesn't exist in places like Spain where I live, and you guys are really lucky that you have that. So max it out or you lose it. Let's move on to number two. Next, check your taxes. Do you have money set aside for this year's taxes? Can you calculate if you're going to owe money to the government or if the government owe money to you? This should be a relatively simple calculation. Usually you can get a document for your employer that says how much tax you've paid. You can also look at your payslip, check the tax rates and work out if you think you've paid too much tax. If you think you're going to owe tax to the government, start saving up for that right now, because if you don't have to pay the tax authorities, for example, in Spain until June, you have 6 months to save little by little each month that money that you owe the government. There's nothing worse than getting a big tax bill from the government and having to drain your whole paycheck for that month. Number three, before 2026 is up, review your investments. Look at your asset allocation. On this channel, I always recommend 80% index funds, 10% of something more stable like bonds or gold, and then 10% of individual stocks. So this could be Tesla, Google, Apple. This can also be crypto. I call this kind of fun investing because it's risky, high risk, but high return. For example, last year, the company that I work for, I get shares with them, right? And I sold a lot of the shares because my portfolio was becoming unbalanced by having too much of my portfolio in this one company. So I sold those shares and I reinvested into index funds. And I can tell you, the stock price of the individual company has gone down and index funds have gone up. So that was a great decision that I made, and I reallocated my portfolio to 80-10-10. Note that this advice is for people in their 20s and 30s and maybe even 40s, but as you're getting closer to retirement, you want to reduce the individual stocks, even maybe index funds, and put money in more stable stocks like gold, like bonds, and even cash. Okay, number four, super important one, set financial goals. Pick up to 3 main financial goals for next year. Just 3, maximum 3. So this could be save $10,000 by June next year. This could be hit 100,000 net worth by the end of next year. This could be pay off all my credit card by July. Whatever it may be, make sure you have a plan on how you're going to do this. And that leads me on to my next point. When you're thinking about your financial goals, think about what matters most to you. Do you want more time with your family this year? Or are you really going to go out there and work and earn lots of money for your family in the future? Do you want a simple life? Do you want more family time? Or do you want a career leap? Make a goal and then make a plan for it. And this leads me on to my next point. Check the basics using a budget. Have a budget for next year. Use the 50-30-20 rule. If you can, adjust as necessary, but that's a really good baseline. 50% for essential expenses, 30% for fun expenses, and 20% for savings and investing. If your goal is to hit a certain net worth next year, maybe that 20% saving and investment has to go up a little bit and your fun expenses have to go down a little bit. Or maybe you want to increase your income and that extra you throw at the net worth. As part of this overall 50-30-20 budgeting, we want to make sure that we consider 2 things. 1, do we have our emergency fund? If we do, great. If we don't, and you don't know what this is 3 to 6 months of expenses put aside for a rainy day if anything happens. This is super important, not just for your finances, but for your peace of mind. Now, in your budget for 2026, you want to put in how much to save towards your emergency fund. So for example, if we're saving and investing 20%, you might want to put all of that 20% towards your emergency fund at first. Or maybe you want to do 10% emergency fund and 10% investing. But whatever it is, make sure it aligns with your goal and make sure you're planning for it so that you can reach that emergency fund if you don't have it already. And then while you're doing your budget, check your debts. Have a plan to pay off your debt using your budget. List out your debts from highest to lowest in balance and highest to lowest in interest rates and pay it down. Make a plan to pay it down, again, using your budget. So this might take a bit of sacrifice, but once you're debt free, it will be totally worth it. But when I am talking about debt, if your debt is low interest, like 1 to 2%, it might be worth paying it off a little slower, but throwing your money investing. We use the 7% rule, so if your debts have an interest rate of 7% or more, pay them off aggressively as quickly as you can. However, if your debts are lower, I would definitely recommend investing as well as paying off your debt. Okay, before 2026 is out, number 6, check your bank accounts. Do a quick little audit of all the bank accounts you have and check these 3 things. 1, are you accidentally in an overdraft in any of these accounts? This happened to me. I had a $1.99 Apple subscription coming out of an old UK bank account that I had. It was putting me into an overdraft and I just had that balance on that account going down and down and down because I was getting overdraft fees. So make sure you close any accounts or close any subscriptions and just simplify the banks that you have as much as possible. Number 2, as part of checking your bank account, check that you're not paying any fees that you shouldn't be paying. For example, in Spain, I was getting charged €25 for a non-residency bank account when I am a resident. So I had to go in and give my documentation and get those fees reimbursed. But if I wasn't doing a mini audit of my accounts, I would have never seen that. So do a mini audit, check that there's no fees. And I really don't think you should be paying for any bank accounts unless you're getting real true benefit. For example, with Amex, you might get a lot of travel benefits that are worth paying that amount of money. Or for example, I pay a little fee for Revolut, and that means I can change my money between currencies, which I need because I'm traveling a lot. I'm from the UK, I live in Spain. So I'm constantly moving between euro and pounds. And then when I'm investing in dollars as well. And then part 3 of checking your bank accounts is checking that you don't have any big lump sums sat in bank accounts laying idle. My philosophy is that your savings should just be your emergency fund and everything else should be invested. The only exception I have to this is if you're saving up for a goal, which is in the next 2 to 3 years that you need the cash for, then I would save in a bank account. Make sure it's in a high interest yield savings account. Okay, 7, think about your career. 2026 is coming. What do you want your career to look like? Are you happy? Are you financially satisfied in your career? But are you also spiritually satisfied? 2026 is the year to get rich and build wealth, but also the year that we're not going to continue to be miserable. Do you need a compensation review? Do you need a title adjustment? If you think you should, update your resume, update your LinkedIn, apply for jobs elsewhere, and see what you can be getting at other companies salary-wise. And then you can use this to go back to your current company and ask for a raise. But you need to show that you are worth the increase, that you are a good asset to the company. If you feel it's feasible and it inspires you, think about your career as a kind of web instead of a straight line. It might not just be promotion, promotion, promotion. It might be you take a lateral move to go into something else. Or it may be that you start a passion on the side or a small side income. Whatever it be, let's plan for that in 2026. I've left the most boring to last, which I probably shouldn't do because in content creation, you should save the best till last and then everyone gets excited and everyone stays till the end. And then when everybody stays at the end, then you get better reviews. Then you get better algorithm boost on YouTube. The last but not least, the boring stuff. Check the boring stuff. Do you have a will? Do you have a power of attorney? Do you have beneficiaries on your retirement accounts? Many people don't realize that they are blank or outdated, and this is something that you must update. We don't want to think about anything bad happening, but you never know. Do you have life insurance, health insurance, disability insurance? Check your insurances. Check that you're fully covered. It's boring, yes. but it's essential. It's the stuff that keeps your money and your life secure. All right, that's your 2026 finance prep list. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more international finance tips, whether you're in the US, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Europe, Australia. My principles are universally adaptable, and I've lived in different countries, so I understand. And check the description for links to templates and resources that I have provided. I've made a budget tracker. I have made a rent versus buy calculator to see which is the best option for you. And I also have made a downloadable PDF checklist for this video so you can tick off when you've done each item for 2026. So here's to making 2026 your most financially empowered year yet. See you in the next one, and Happy New Year.